Wow. Okay. Okay, Lollers, today we are going to be covering off Neeko in our Beginner Champion Guide series. She's a very interesting character, can be very annoying for enemy champions to play, especially in lane early on, and then in team fights later with her ult. So let's quickly run through her passive before this lane starts, which is Inherent Glamour. This is basically her cosplay ability that lets you disguise yourself as any one of your teammates. So if you enjoy, I guess, buying skins in League and kind of enjoying different visual effects and character models, this is a good ability for you when you play Neeko. So the quick rundown of how I'd kind of suggest you use this ability generally is to copy your jungler early on and just kind of, so let's just say Ryze was our jungler, to disguise yourself as Ryze and kind of slowly move into enemy jungle territory, maybe place a ward down, walk around, see where they're at, and then throughout the game, if your jungle is not showing on the map, to disguise yourself as a jungler. Short story is, if you disguise yourself as a jungler, maybe that's going to throw off the enemy champions a little bit more in terms of knowing where your jungler is and where they could gank. So generally it's good to disguise yourself as a jungler. So there's some more intricate plays and kind of mind games you can play with this, but basic level, disguise yourself as a jungler when you're moving around the map. It'll help throw off the enemy team. Okay, so first basic ability we're going to learn in lane here is Blooming Burst. She throws out a seed that blossoms and deals some magic damage. If it kills a unit or hits a champion or large monster, it will bloom again, okay? So maximum extra blooms is 2. So that means that if you hit a large monster or enemy champion, this will burst for 3 pops, okay? So we're going to show you what that looks like in a second after we clear out some of these minions. So we're going to try and land it on this Galio and see how many times we can make it bloom, okay? With Neeko, generally you're going to be running your Electrocute rune, so this works really well with Electrocute, okay? For some big damage. So let's see if we can just get him here. So you can see how it popped once because the first time it hit him, it kind of connected. If you can get it to stay on him, it'll bloom 3 times. So this brings us to our second ability with Neeko, Tangle Barbs, which is basically a Lux stun. She's going to shoot a tangle that deals some damage and roots people. The cool thing with this is after it hits an enemy, it's going to grow larger and move faster and root for longer. So the best way to use this ability is to actually throw it through minions and see if you can tangle up your champ like that. And then you throw the bloom on them, okay? See it, all 3 blooms hit there, deals huge damage. At a very basic level of understanding, what you need to know about Neeko is she's a champ that if you hit your stun with your E and then you drop your Q on them, you're going to burst for a huge amount of damage. If your E is on cooldown, if you miss your E, it's basically a no-go, okay? Like, very one-dimensional champ in that respect in lane, okay? If you hit your E, great, perfect, see, drop the Q, deal some big damage, proc your Electrocute if you can, put some autos in, that's it. Once you throw the E and the Q out, you back the hell away and wait for the cooldowns to come back up, okay? Do not play Neeko in any other way while you're learning her. It's just pretty straightforward. You're going to fish with your E. If you hit, great. If you don't, see, just back away, okay? Your Q is not going to deal as much damage just off a single bloom. And if you close the gap to kind of throw a Q on someone and you miss like this, you're going to take damage and the trade's probably going to go bad, okay? If he landed that taunt earlier, that trade would have went really, really badly. So just make sure you understand at a very basic level, Neeko in lane is all about hitting your E. If you do so, land your Q on them, okay? Try and hit your E through minions like we talked about. That way it'll stun them longer and it's easier to hit because it's going to speed up. They may not expect it. And then you're going to land your Q. So there, see? E, Q, and I'm already starting to walk away. There's nothing else for me to do in that trade. My Electrocute's going to proc, it's going to deal some burst damage, and I'm going to be able to wait for my cooldowns to come back up. Okay, so very, very basic. So to get good at Neeko as a beginner and as you're picking her up, it's pretty much just getting good at landing your E. Because once you land your E and they're stunned, you just kind of throw your Q on them. If you miss the E, don't bother trying to throw the Q. Save your mana, save it for when you have a guaranteed Q and you stun them, okay? So see, I could throw the Q. I'd rather wait for my E to come back up, hit him, throw the Q down, let as many of those blossoms pop as possible. Okay, let's talk about our W shape splitter here. Basically, she creates a clone and you gain some movement speed. So this is an anti-gank tool in lane pretty much. If someone was coming to gank you here, you could kind of fake them out, throw your clone that way and start running this way. The invisibility is pretty short, so you got to be decisive with where you're going to duke out, but it gives you a bit of movement speed too. So even in a pinch, that might help you escape a gank, okay? So in terms of pushing waves, you can use your Q and your E to try and push like this if the enemy champ leaves. And you want to kind of shove the wave into turret and get maybe a recall off so you can buy some items. So we're going to do that here. I'd recommend again getting at least one minion low for your Q so that it kind of pops the maximum amount of time. So here you can see I can use my W to even just run away a little bit faster in the back there. Okay? So that's your basic kit in terms of your basic abilities. Your Q is your big burst damage. You only throw that if you land your E, okay? And get good at landing your E through minions because it's going to stun longer and it's going to have a little bit of a faster target kind of time to get to the enemy champ, which will make it easier to land. So get good at landing your E, get good at landing your Q once they're stunned, use your W when needed in lane to avoid ganks or dodge out abilities with a little bit of that move speed. Okay, the better you get at Neeko, again, you can use your passive to kind of play mind games with the enemy champs, and you can also use the clone from your W to kind of play some mind games and maybe bait out some big abilities. Okay, so in terms of items, pretty simple. You're going to go with the recommended here. Generally, Luden's Tempest is going to be best, but with the new season here, Riot's going to kind of recommend what's good against the enemy champs. We're going to build into the Luden's first. Ideally, you'd want to get enough gold in your first back to build Lost Chapter that gives you ability, power, and mana, which is perfect for kind of the poke mage that Neeko is. In this case, we only have enough for Blasting Wand, so we're going to pick that up and walk back to lane now. I like to run teleport generally with Neeko just because if you are spamming some abilities in lane or trade goes badly, you have kind of a get out of jail free card to get back into lane. We're not going to bother using it right now just because it's a, you know, pretty low-key learning opportunity here. So again, we're just going to quickly try and land our combo, which is our EQ. If you want, you can use your Q to last hit and help get some gold under turret like that. You want to max out your Q first because that's your ability that's going to deal the most damage. We're level 7 here. We've been talking a lot, so we haven't even got to our ult. But I just want to, again, kind of impart the importance of when you land your E on a champ like that, you try and do it through minions and then you land your Q. We half health them with that very simple combo, and notice how I back away, okay? We do that 2-3 times in lane, lane's over. So just concentrate on doing that. Okay, let's take this time now to learn her ultimate Pop Blossom. So after a short delay, Neeko's going to jump into the air. She gains a shield that absorbs some damage, and then she also spits out a bunch of damage in the circle around her and stuns enemies. Okay, we're going to talk about how to use this in an all-in a second, but let's again try and chunk this Galio out with our EQ combo. Now we've got 4 points in our E, so it's going to, or in our Q, so it's going to deal a lot of damage on that triple pop. Okay, see again. Big chunks of damage, alright? The E stun range when we went through that minion was quite large. So you can use your Q to help last hit, especially cannon minions under turret like that. So let's try and jump up here again. And see how I kind of stand behind these minions to land my E? I force him to back away from the minions, maybe lose some gold, maybe lose some XP. And if he jumps up, throw the E through the minion, try and dodge out whatever he's throwing back at you, and just start to run away. You can use a W to help you run away and dodge some more damage. Okay, so let's try and, now that he's below half health, add in our R to the combo. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the E, stun him, throw the Q, and then R him to follow up with more stun, which is crowd control and CC. So keep him stunned for longer, deal more damage, and by that time, hopefully my E and Q are close to being off cooldown. I can use that combo again. So throw the E, Q, R. See how it stunned him again? Okay, Shen TP'd. Throw the Q. Almost. Okay, so the Shen saved him there, but you can see that all-in combo. It's pretty easy to execute, again, only if you land your E stun and you can combo off of that, okay? You have to understand Neeko is a burst kind of glass cannon mage. She does not want to stay in super extended trades or take a lot of damage, okay? So look for your opportunities to stun use your Pot Blossom, maybe follow up with your R if you feel like there's a good chance you can kill them, and then you're done with it until your E's off cooldown again. So you want to recall, perfect. Use your E and your Q to help you clear minions faster, and then you can jump back and recall them by. Okay? Another point to mention with the, where the heck is it here, the shape splitter, is it has a passive which every third auto attack you're going to deal a little bit more damage and increase your movement speed for 1 second. It's not huge unless you're doing more specific on hit builds, but it does help you maybe kind of deal a little bit more damage to enemy champions in trades. So you can keep track of it here at the bottom. When shape splitter icon is green, that means you're going to deal some more damage. So ideally, you'd want to pair that up with your EQ combo if you can. Okay, in this case, it's not always going to work, and I wouldn't advise not using your E and Q combo just because you don't have that passive up. It's just a nice bonus if you can line it up. Okay, it also helps you help last hit kind of cannon minions if you need to. Okay, so EQ combo again, right? Very one-dimensional in her kit. It just, all of the playmaking comes out of how you use your E, how you use your shapes splitter, and how you use your disguise. All right. So we'll do one more combo on him here if we can before we go back to lane. So you can see the range when you go through a minion. And just chunk him out. He ate the whole 3 Pot Blossom there. Perfect, max damage. We're going to go back now and buy our Lost Chapter and come back to lane and be pretty powerful. So again, once you pick up that Lost Chapter, you get an ability power and mana, which lets you spam that combo even more. We're going to use the TP now to get back to lane, and we're going to see if we can all-in him again with that Pot Blossom combo. So again, the big combo here that we want to do is E to stun him, Q into a kind of a burst damage, and then R for more damage and more stun. So we're looking for that E, okay? So we're going to step up in between the minions like this. That way we have a better chance to land the E on him if he comes close. If he doesn't want to, that's fine. We're going to hang out, okay? Comes close, E, Q, R. Stun him again, and then just keep following up with auto attacks and E and Q combo again once they come off cooldown. Okay? That's kind of your basic laning 1 versus 1 mindset. That's how you want to play Neeko. That's how you want to combo off. That's how you want to trade. If you can get good trades off, you can use your Q, especially when you get enough ability power and mana to really help you clear minion waves really fast. So that means that if you get ahead and you kill your enemy champion a few times, you can use your EQ combo to push the wave in really quick, get this wave crashing on their tower so they can't get the last hits in gold while they're dead, and maybe roam to another lane like top or bottom to get some more kills, impact the other lanes, kind of use your power to have influence on other areas of the map. So here we're going to walk up. Again, I'm going to pretend that our Ryze is our jungler, and I'm going to transform into him so that people don't know where the real Ryze is. Maybe he's coming with me to gank, okay? So EQ combo again. Okay, perfect. Just using your damage. Okay, got it. Now we're going to just kite away again. I'm kiting away because I'm waiting for my EQ to come off cooldown, okay? That's why I'm staying away from them. Don't go right next to another enemy champion with Neeko. She's not a melee champ. She doesn't do well in extended close range engagements. So if you use your EQ, whether you hit it or you miss it, it's time to back away. So again, I'm going to disguise as our enemy jungler, in this case Ryze, and come into this lane. Okay, this could be bad, so we're going to use our R for the shield and for the stun. In this case, I'm using it to escape, and I'm also going to use my W to move speed a little bit faster away from this Galio so we don't get caught. Alright, so that's important to note that again, the stun component of your R can help you escape if you need to. If you're in a sticky spot, you miss your E, or they happen to have a dash in their kit that lets them close that distance and get within melee range, just you can always preemptively use your R to save yourself. It's better to use the R to save yourself than die and hold it thinking you're going to get a kill with it. Okay, we should have enough gold now for Luden's Tempest and a pair of boots, which is perfect. You're going to build into your Sorcerer's Shoes, which gives you magic penetration as Neeko. And then the big second item that I'd almost always recommend building, even if you're not against an attack damage champion in your lane, is going to be the Zhonya's Hourglass. Okay, Zhonya's Hourglass really pairs well with Neeko's kit in terms of if you're going to be in a team fight and you're going to try and ult a bunch of enemy champions and stun them all, you can pop the hourglass after and stay safe for a little bit, maybe while you wait for your W to kind of duke out and get out of the fight, or just walk away. Okay, so again here we're looking for that EQ combo, EQ, and then I'm walking away. Okay, deal some damage, quarter of his health there, just in one kind of 5-second combo. And you can see now our cooldowns are starting to come off a lot faster, so we can use this to kind of trade with him even more often. The power of our Q is also becoming quite apparent. We can clear out kind of the backline minion waves pretty quick and efficient now. Okay, so even though our tower went down because we roamed a bit and this Galio had Shen come to lane a few times, our plan doesn't change. EQ, maybe R now because we caught him, and then we're just going to keep following up. Okay, so very straightforward kit. Again, the difficulty in mastering this champ, I'd say, at least at an introductory level and playing her well after your first 5-10 games, comes from being able to land your E consistently and have the discipline that if you don't land it or you miss it, you back away and don't take any damage that's not needed. Alright, so that's laning. I'll talk quickly about how you can use your W in another way as the game progresses and goes to mid game and late game and you're not always sitting in your mid lane. Okay, the other great way to use your shape splitter is as a face checker in unwarded bushes. So a lot of times beginners die because they'll be walking to either roam or maybe pick up some jungle camps, or just go and walk around the map and maybe pick up other farm by walking into bushes that are unwarded. Okay, you can see here we didn't even see that scuttle before we walked into this bush, right? So if there was an enemy champ sitting here, an assassin, maybe the bot lane duo is sitting here, they're gonna kill you as soon as you walk in. Again, Neeko's very squishy, so what you want to do is you want to use your W to check the bush if you can. I don't know why it didn't move that time. Oh, the lag happened. Okay, so we'll wait for it to come off cooldown one more time just to demonstrate that. Hopefully it doesn't lag this time, but you're going to keep your cursor where you want your clone to walk to. Okay, and that's going to reveal any enemy champions that are in there. Okay, so you hover your cursor over there, you press W, and the clone walks to check it out and gives you vision of it. Okay, if there were people in that bush, they're probably going to blow a bunch of their abilities and maybe their ultimates trying to kill that clone, which is perfect for you. You already dropped off some big cooldowns from the enemy team before you go in and fight. Okay, so that's how you use your W in terms of a safeguard to check bushes and maybe get some vision. In terms of maybe drawing out abilities, you'll see here we're going to use our W to maybe draw out some abilities from this Galio. So there goes the W. See how he thought that was the one there for a second and he moved towards it? That let us initiate with our EQ combo. Now I'm just going to keep following him up, okay? So I'm not going to use my Q until I get my E. Now I'm going to use it to maximize the damage. Be patient. Just because your Q's off cooldown, don't just throw it out until you can get that stun, okay? Obviously this is not every single case. If you just need one quick little hit to kill somebody before they escape, go ahead and use it. But in that case there, I would maximize my damage if I used my Q after I stunned him and got all 3 of those blooms off. Okay, guys, that's Neeko in a nutshell. I mean, really fun champ, very bursty. You're going to find that at the end of your games, if you're landing your EQ combo well and your ults well, you're probably going to top the damage charts and have big impact on the game. Any champ that has stuns, burst damage in their kit is going to be very powerful for low elo and kind of destroying your opponents if you can slowly start to out micro them and outplay them in lane. Alright, so have fun with her. Let me know if there's any questions or comments in the video, and I'll do my best to get back to you guys. Other than that, I will catch you in the next one.